Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. This is your industrial stream on a Tuesday night. So what we do here is we go over a little bit about the skilled trades, what you can expect or how to get into them, and some articles in the local magazines about things going on out in industry. Take a look and see if things are getting better, getting worse, staying the same. And then we'll move along to some articles, and then after that, there's always a few pictures, sometimes some videos, all that good kind of stuff. But this is all from an industrial point of view, so I hope you're ready for it. Before I get all to that, I just want to say hello to you, David Glenn. Nice to see you. And anyone else that has tuned in. Yes, I also have picture time, and everybody loves picture time. It gets usually, depending on what the picture is, gets a lot of exclamations and such of people that can't believe some of the things that I've taken pictures of. But yes, we'll get to that later on. First up is some news of the week, courtesy of Plant Magazine. One caught my eye right away was the Environment Minister says consumer rebates for EVs will return. Well, you know what? I don't want a rebate. I just want the choice to be able to pick whether I even want to buy an EV. I don't need the taxpayers' money giving me a rebate just so that you'll force me to buy a electric car. But let's look and see what they have to say here. The federal government intends to bring back consumer rebates for electric vehicles, but doesn't yet quite know what they'll look like, Environment Minister Julie Abruzin said on Tuesday. The federal government launched its rebate program, the Incentives for Zero Emission Vehicles Program, or IZEV, in 2019, but it ran out of funding earlier this year. Big surprise. They're just using taxpayer money, so yeah, don't waste taxpayer money on doing something dumb like this. Leading to Ottawa to pause the program. Speaking to the Canadian press while leaving the House of Commons, where she spent the better part of the question period fending off conservative criticisms, Ottawa's EV mandate, Abruzin said a renewed consumer rebate is something being worked on. Will it be named IZEV? That I can't tell you, but there will be consumer rebate. Yeah, I don't care what it's called. How about just don't do it? Carney wants us all in Chinese EVs. Hey, Fabric, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I sure hope not. We don't need that lunatic running the place. Says here, the IZEV program offered up to $5,000 off the cost of new electric vehicle between May 2019 and January 2025. The federal government spent nearly $3 billion on the EV rebate program for more than 500,000 new passenger vehicles. Does the math add up, though? 500,000 times 5,000? Does that end up to $3 billion? Something stinks here. Julie Abruzin, I bet she beats her husband. There you go. She lives up to her name, does she? Let me check here. I'm just firing up calculator. $5,000 times 500,000. No. Equals $2,500,000,000. So not quite. We're missing $500 million there. That math ain't mathin'. Hey, what's up, DJ Ronnie G? How's it going, DJ? You almost forgot it's Tuesday. Yeah, don't forget. Hey, Godzillionaire, how you doing? Don't forget to multiply by the kickback. Ah, yes, that's what I forgot to add into that. You're not a math Indian. Yeah, something not right there. The Liberal platform during the election suggested it would look for a way to reintroduce the $5,000 rebate program. Also, that does nothing. $5,000 for an EV, whatever it costs, that pays the tax. That's all that does. That's just ridiculous. Also, like I said, I don't want your money, government. Stop giving away the taxpayers' money for stupid stuff. Conservatives spent Tuesday in Ottawa calling for the mandate to be scrapped, citing concerns about an auto sector threatened by U.S. tariffs, and debating an opposition motion to compel the government to immediately end their ban on gas-powered vehicles. Yeah, do that. Hey, Veritex, how you doing? Good to see you, man. This time you're making it at the beginning of the stream. I usually show up towards the end. But it's good to see you nonetheless. Right now, the Liberals have a mandate in place that makes it so that Canadians will have to buy EVs, but that does not fit the needs of Canadian families, said Lethbridge MP Rachel Thomas during question period. If the Liberal government is truly going to stand with auto workers, then stop making the very vehicles that they're producing illegal. Yeah, exactly. That's counter to what, you want those guys to have jobs, and they're building gas-powered vehicles. And we've been on stream here where I've read that the automakers are slowing down their production of EVs. So it just doesn't make any sense here. But I guess it's another way to impoverish the people, make them force them to be poor. You'll say one thing for Trudeau: he really knew about mandates. Oh, you meant man? Oh, I'm sure he knows about both there, Godzillionaire. Average EV price is $65K. $5K won't even buy you. I'll look up the sale girl's skirt. Yeah, that's for sure. That's what I said. $5,000 is nothing. It maybe pays some of the sales tax, but that's it. You can't help think how battery efficiency in EVs will be after a couple of years in the coldest Canadian. Yes. And a lot of people don't get that. Batteries hate the cold. I learned about it in heavy equipment technician class. Batteries do not like the cold. The temperature batteries is like 25 degrees Celsius. They love that temperature. You get peak performance from a battery at that temperature. I think it's like, what is that, 80 Fahrenheit or something roughly around there? Something like that anyway. But yeah, the batteries don't like it up here. Canada's electric vehicle mandate requires all new light-duty passenger vehicles sold to be zero emissions by 2035. That's in 10 years. Sales of used gas-powered vehicles will start to be allowed after 2035. Plug-in hybrid vehicles would also be allowed for sale. It's been in place since 2023. I don't see why Conservatives believe we needed to change it in face of what we're facing with the U.S. tariffs on the auto industry. This has no relevant... It doesn't make sense to hook these both together. You're talking about electric vehicles and the U.S. tariffs. Stop conflating the two together. These guys are really experts at like mushing two things together. It's not. They shouldn't even bring it up. And keep the topic separate. Don't talk about tariffs and about the electric vehicles. The thing is, stop trying to force people to buy electric vehicles and just let them have their choice. You'll be much better off. And also, a country that only has 36 million or 38 million people, whereas California has that many in their whole state, I don't think we're the problem here when it comes to pollution from vehicles. Charging a lithium-ion battery in the cold ruins the anode. Okay. Hey, what's up, Tanker? How you doing? Why are we bringing up politics? This is just following the story of perhaps getting the electric vehicle rebate back in Canada. That's all. That's just, and it just comes down to trying to force people to buy EVs, electric vehicles, and I'm saying we don't need to be forced to. Zero emission is such a terrible phrase. Yes, I agree, Veritax. Tuesday, the day of my daughter's wedding. And my birthday. Is your birthday, DJ? Happy birthday, DJ Ronnie G. Right on, man. Another year on the odometer, eh? 25C is 77 Fahrenheit. Trump thermal units. Thanks for that, Fabric. You aren't the problem. This is the jet setter class. Yeah. When all the billionaires fly to some place on their private jets and are like, "Oh, you guys are bad." Meanwhile, they've flown there on their private jets. We know better, you pleb. Yes, indeed. Godzillionaire. Electric vehicles remain more expensive than their gas-powered equivalents. The first quarter of 2025 saw zero-emission vehicles represent only 8.11% of all new vehicle sales in Canada, a drop from the 16% in the fourth quarter of 2024. So it dropped. That's why the manufacturers aren't making more. There is no demand. They're not getting it through their stupid heads that if there's demand for it, they would be making them like crazy. But they're not. And you can't force people. You don't think we're being forced to do anything because Biden screwed up everything, not Trump? Tanker? Yeah. But up in Canada, they are going to be forcing people, according to the law that they brought in, that they have to be zero-emission vehicles by 2035. So they can do that up here a lot easier than you can down in the U.S., which is, I'm jealous of that. It's because of you guys and your copious use of air conditioning. Yeah. Bill Gates bought enough carbon credits for his flex-extended family. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Maybe you are Math Indian, but just for temperature. There you go, Fabric. EVs have a lot of harms to the environment in their creation. Lithium is not the cleanest thing to extract from the... Yes, mining, Veritax. Mining for all that stuff. A lot of idiots put on their their blinders, and they're like, "Oh yeah, batteries, they're great." But it's like, they comes from mining, right? All those giant industrial machines. Remember that one I showed you guys on that GIF where it was like the size of a house, that giant Caterpillar truck? It's those things that are run on diesel engines to run electric generators to move the motors that power the wheels. And the diesel comes from the oil in the ground. It's like these guys just don't get it. This is why you hate politics. Yeah, I know. We don't stick on it too long. On a monthly basis through 2024, the share of EVs among new vehicle sales dropped to 7.53%. Of all new vehicles off of Canadian lots. Beginning in 2026, the government's EV mandate requires at least 30% of new light-duty vehicles offered for sale in that year to be zero emission. Okay, now this is going to backfire. You're forcing dealers to have 20% EV cars on their lots? That's not going to fly. They're just going to sit there. And people are going to be like, yep, that's nice. Very nice. And actually, what people should be doing now is buying gas-powered vehicles and putting them in storage. I could see some people doing that. Buy yourself a cheap gas-powered car and keep it in storage and then drive it after. But that's that one. Wait for them to try to push a potato EV battery. There you go. Yeah. Nissan's offering some serious deals on their heavy-duty trucks. Problem is, they're as fragile as... Nice, Fabric. You can't see it. It doesn't exist, just like farmers. Why do we need farmers? Yeah, exactly. I've seen that. The person goes up and asks the person on the street there, "Oh, do we need farm?" "No, we need to shut down all the farmers." It's like, where do you think you get your food from, you moron? Give your head a shake, Try reading a book for once. Don't give them ideas, Veritax. If they discount EVs with credits, doesn't their cost go? Yeah. That's the thing. But the government will probably pay them and they'll probably do it. What should we look up? Canada announces measures to retaliate against U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs. I doubt there'd be any kind of meaningful retaliation anyways, you guys. Remember I told you this is all just idiotic fear-mongering and stuff like that. They're doing a good job of getting people afraid and keeping them afraid, which is the sad part. Word is, every 2026 vehicle made in the U.S. is going to have a kill switch in it. What? No way. You gotta circumvent that. People better learn how to hack their way out of that one. Canada's taking steps to protect the steel and aluminum industries with new counter tariffs and protectionist policies, Prime Minister Mark Carney said Thursday. Yeah, it's for your safety, Fabric. You thought a Japanese company bought U.S. steel? I can't remember if we read something about that. At a press conference, Carney pointed out that he and U.S. President Donald Trump have agreed to pursue a trade deal to end tariffs within the next 30 days. Oh, okay. In parallel, we must reinforce our strength at home and safeguard Canadian workers and businesses from the unjust U.S. tariffs. Mark my words, you guys. Once they've ironed out a deal and the tariffs are gone or lowered or whatever, the fools that were trying to, or the foolish politicians that were like, oh, we got to diversify, they're not even going to mention a word of it anymore. They're not even going to diversify to send our stuff anywhere else. It's going to be, okay, back to the U.S. as normal. Trump imposed a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports in March and hiked that rate to 50% earlier this month. Canada responded with 25% counter tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum products in March. Carney said Thursday that on July 21st, when the 30-day negotiation period has ended, those counter tariffs will be adjusted to levels consistent with progress made in the broader trading agreement with the U.S. Ottawa is also introducing rules on June 30th that will limit federal procurement to using steel and aluminum from Canada and reliable trading partners. U.S. steel and aluminum, the U.S. is a reliable trading partner. Anyways. U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs apply to the entire world, not just Canada, which has led to concerns about dumping. Fabric, it's either Canadian aluminum or Turkish aluminum, and Turkey has zero quality control. Yeah. Take your choice. Canada will establish new tariff rate quotas of 100% of 2024 levels on imports of steel products from non-free trade agreement partners, the government said in a news release. Carney said new tariffs will be imposed in the coming weeks to protect Canadian industries from unfair trading practices and overcapacity. Carney also announced the creation of 2 separate task forces for steel and aluminum that will meet to monitor the situation and advise the government. Aluminum isn't supposed to be green? No, it's not. That doesn't sound right. When Infinite going to go live? I don't know. Sometimes Infinite shows up in the stream here. But other than that, I'm not sure if he streams on Tuesdays or not, Tanker. I do enjoy watching me some Infinite Metal, though. The heads of the Canadian Steel Producers Association and the United Steelworkers visited Parliament Hill on Thursday to call for urgent action by the federal government. Industry Manager Melanie Joly said the U.S. tariffs have left Canada's steel and aluminum industries in a state of emergency. We know that Canadian steel and aluminum workers are very anxious and they want us to come up with a solution really, really quickly, she said Thursday morning. Yeah. I'm not worried. What do we got here? Mazda Canada CEO David Klan to retire. CEO Amy Fleming named successor. Okay, so Mazda's getting a new CEO. GE Vernova to build a $70 million SMR service center in Ontario. I don't know what SMR is. GE Vernova Hitachi Nuclear Energy is investing $70 million to build the world's first BWRX-300 small modular reactor. Okay. This is right up DJ Ronnie G's alley here. He knows all about the old nuclear reactors. Engineering and Service Center in Durham region in Ontario near the Darlington New Nuclear Project site. Small modular reactor. You got her, Godzillionaire. Ontario is proud to lead the world in next generation nuclear innovation. What? Why aren't they doing electrical? Creating good-paying local jobs, training thousands of skilled workers, and delivering clean, reliable power for decades to come, said Stephen Lecce, Minister of Energy and Mines. Let's not forget about the spent nuclear power or spent nuclear reaction fuel. Yeah, that's called nuclear waste. I'm sure these guys conveniently forget about that. ASMR, yeah. But you like to charge your atomic breath on that. Ah, yeah. If it's thorium, you'd like one. There you go. By locking in this investment from GE Vernova, we are reinforcing our plan to make Ontario a clean energy superpower where our workers build with Canadian materials, operate with Canadian expertise, and export the clean technology the world needs. Spent fuel is just future fuel? Yeah. I don't know, DJ. Once complete, the new Engineering and Service Center will create new opportunities for workers in engineering, science, construction, and other skilled trades. To find jobs, it is expected to bring 300 jobs to the Durham region, while training facilities will help more than 2,000 people per year acquire the skills they need for successful careers as experts on nuclear innovation and operations. But knowing USA and Canada, it is waste. Yeah. They just deep well it. The Canadian BWRX 300 Engineering and Service Center will bolster Ontario's position as a nuclear leader and further cultivate Canada's nuclear energy workforce with an industry-leading training ecosystem, said Heather Chalmers, President and CEO, GE Vernova Canada. This Ontario-based hub will provide the province with continued access to the best and brightest talent and innovation in the nuclear energy industry while complementing global efforts for deploying the BWRX 300. Boo, engineer. Yeah, Godzilla. Boo. You guys suck. You spent fuel to grow fungus. Oh, it'll grow all right. Probably into something that eats people. New nuclear reactors are safer than coal-fired plants. Yeah, I could see that, Fabric. Just with what the smoke and everything that belch out of the coal-fired plants. And we're putting it back there. There you go. Just keep it below the aquifer. That'll make it nice and warm. With Ontario's electricity demand set to increase by 75% by 2050. So in 25 years, the demand is going to increase 75%. Wow. The government launched its integrated energy plan, Energy for Generations, which brings together nuclear, electricity, hydrogen, and other energy sources under one plan to help ensure the province has the reliable and clean energy needed to be competitive at our self-reliant province. In addition to the new Engineering and Service Center, the Darlington New Nuclear Project will create and sustain 3,700 jobs during the construction and long-term operation of its 4 SMRs. The Ontario government says the project will contribute $38.5 billion to Ontario's GDP over 65 years, with 80% of project spending going to Ontario companies. $38 billion over 65 years? I mean, that's like $2 billion a year. I don't know if that might sound enough, but yeah. You heard some people were making a type of generator using magnets and coils for a type that doesn't use nuclear reactor. Oh, that's all right, Tanker. You can make an animal-free wallet with fungus. Yeah. You can also make one out of what? Palm leaves? Or weave one out of like what they weave baskets out of? Attack of the Killer Tomato. Yeah, there you go. Throwback. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. There's fungus in the Chernobyl cooling ponds that you can use melanin in the same manner plants use chlorophyll? No way. That sounds pretty awesome. I don't think I want to go near Chernobyl, though. If we use spent fuel to grow super large mutated veggies, we can solve food shortages. Win-win. Yeah, like, why didn't they, Godzilla? Like, why not? Do it. You eat first. I have another idea for that, Dave. Reverse M. Jackson. How come spent fuel doesn't accrue interest from the fuel bank? Yeah, there you go. Veritax asking the important questions. They use protomolecule in the expanse to create fast-grown oats. Okay. I never watched The Expanse, so I never got into that. And I think that's it for Plant Magazine. Let's skip along here to, what's this? The Center for Future Work. Supporting skilled trades labor supply as Canada embarks on historic building boom. I mean, maybe there's going to be a building boom. I'm not sure. Your Squirtle's hyper melanistic. People are going to make the generators for free, clean energy. They won't let them get away with that, tanker. If you try to say anything that you've discovered that can give free energy to people, you will be disappeared. Either they will come and buy it from you and make it go away, or they will make you disappear, and nobody will ever hear of it ever again. Canadian governments and industries are getting set to launch a major expansion in infrastructure and housing construction as part of elbows up response to uncertainty caused by U.S. President Donald Trump tariffs. One potential challenge in that strategy will be ensuring adequate supply of skilled construction workers. To discuss this issue, Center for Work Director Jim Stanford recently joined Matt Galloway, host of CBC Radio's The Current, for an in-depth interview on the opportunities and challenges of skilled trades work as Canada gets ready to build, baby, build. Yeah, I don't know about that. Become tan just as Michael Jackson became pale. Turn her into an energy collector or a plant monster. They poured a concrete driveway next door back in the day with a concrete saw going up the middle of it. Oh, yeah. That's okay, David. You're not hitting on, so that's fine. You maybe need a spark plug change. There's 2 videos of making it. Oh, okay. You think you threw a rod? Well, if you're a rotary engine, you'll be okay. You're part of the new wave of kids who are on effing batteries. Let's see. Stanford made several points during the interview challenging conventional wisdom that there is a perpetual shortage of skilled labor in Canada and that red tape regarding certification and interprovincial mobility of skilled workers is holding back construction work. It's not, but in order to get yourself an interprovincial ticket, you got to write the exam. And don't be afraid of it. They give you 4 hours to finish it, but it just covers all the years that you were in your apprenticeship. So if you were in one that takes 3 years, it covers 3 years. If you're one in 5, it takes 5. I took mine. My apprenticeship was 4 years, and it covered all that stuff on the exam, and I finished it in 2 hours. So that's all it takes. If you think going home when the streetlights turn on was normal, I got to go home at 4 p.m. to get plugged into a wall. Petey, is that you? You're not that young, but it's probably a Gen Z thing. Yeah, I could see that. Reported shortages of construction work have eased dramatically since 2022 when labor supply was severely disrupted by the pandemic. Unemployment amongst construction workers has averaged over 8% so far in 2025, higher than the average of the national labor market, and job vacancies have fallen by more than half from our over 7% of employment. In 2022, around 3%. The slowdown in construction resulting from high interest rates and now the effects of Trump's tariffs have caused a downturn in construction. They're blaming Trump's tariffs again. Like you're building houses in your own country. You get wood from your own country. Like stop doing that. They're trying to blame the tariffs, and that's not the problem. Shortage of jobs is currently a bigger problem in construction than shortage of workers. Canada already has an effective program of interprovincial mobility with skilled trades workers called the Red Seal Certified Tradespeople. Write an exam and document their on-the-job experience to receive Red Seal credentials. And like I said, I have my Red Seal, which then allow them to work in any province without additional certification. Quebec has a separate but similar program, but I am not going to Quebec. I do not want to speak the Francais and try to work at Quebec. I want to stay here. It is not me, pop culture mechanic. I knew it. Petey. I knew Petey was tuned in. Trump's tariffs caused you to spend all your money at the bar Saturday night. It's all his fault. I spent it all. Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening. Claims by business lobbyists such as the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses representative, also interviewed by Mr. Galloway, that government red tape has created a labor shortage are false. The main reason some businesses face problems recruiting and retaining skilled workers is their stubborn refusal to offer better wages and conditions. Yes! That's what I've been saying to you guys. And you can go back in the streams and you can take clips and be like, yes, that's what he said. It's the business's own damn fault. It is your fault. If you're a business owner, it's your damn fault if you don't hire apprentices to take over for the people you have that are long-term employees that are retiring now. It's your own damn fault. It's not the government's fault. It's not Donald Trump's fault. And it's not any kind of red tape. It's just, that's just deflecting. Aris, hey man, how's it going? Nice to see you. Don't forget, guys, hey, if you could please remember to hit that like button or depending on what platform you're watching me on, follow, whatever it is. And I'd appreciate it. Sort of give me more exposure to the algorithm because, nobody ever sees me out there unless they get picked randomly by the random number generator to put my video out there for suggestions. But Big Daddy government's supposed to run my life. Yep. Don't let the government run your life. What else we got here? The CFIB's own data suggests that 57% of their members, the biggest problem is recruiting labor, is a disconnect between potential employees' salary expectations and the employer's willingness to pay. You aren't going to earn top rate when you start at a company. You should know that already. Anybody who has ever tried to get a job knows that you don't go in and make top rate. You start at the starting wage. And then you have a time where you have, what the hell do they call that? Probation. You're on probation. Either 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is. And then after that, usually you get a raise. And they also get a chance to check you out and see whether you're worth keeping. And if not, they ditch you. They're like, nope, you're not working out. Psst, go. Aris joined you in L Talks where you were given the floor for your birthday. You can find Aris there during the day on Sundays and various other days. Ah, yes. I occasionally tune in to watch a bit of LCX when I get a chance. Our times of streaming times are kind of like off though, so I when I can, I get in there and watch. As Canada embarks on a historic building boom, it is vital that apprenticeship and qualification standards for skilled trades workers be strengthened. Really? I thought they were good as it was. The standards are pretty high already. Anyways, to ensure the work is performed safely for both workers and public and the highest standards, that means expanding the system of skilled trade certification to include new skills like solar and wind installation. You could probably add those under maybe electrician. There's electromechanics as well out there. I don't know why you think you have to make a new set of skilled trade for that. Expanding public support for vocational colleges, apprentices, and work placements, and making publicly funded investment projects contingent on strong labor standards, including prevailing wages and employment equity and union representation. Okay. And it encourages us to listen to but I don't want to listen to the CBC. No thanks. That's something I don't care for. Over on this one called Contractor Mag, Business Roundtable launches new initiative to strengthen skilled trade talent pipeline. This is for you, my American friends. Washington, D.C. Business Roundtable has launched a new initiative to address worker shortages in skilled trades by strengthening talent pipelines. Let's see what they're going to do to strengthen those pipelines, though. The new workforce initiative, which was announced during the Roundtable CEO Workforce Forum, will be championed by the CEOs of Lowe's and Carrier Global Corporation. Skilled trades workers power American industry, yet there is an estimated imbalance of 20 job openings for every one net new employee. The Business Roundtable Skilled Trades Initiative will collaborate with companies, outside experts, and nonprofit groups on developing resources, training, and other tools to help close the talent gap in these trades. Business Roundtable launched the Skilled Trades Initiative to raise public awareness, highlight the importance of these roles to the economy, and support employers' commitment to grow pipeline of workers. Let me ask you guys, have you seen any advertisements on television? Have you seen any of this? Right away, the first thing they should be doing is buying advertising time on television, and not at the 3 a.m. Infomercial. Do it in prime time. 30-second prime time commercial. Start talking about how the skilled trades are good and you need them. So, yeah. David, you're laughing. They're doing stuff to make things better. Yeah. That's what I said. You guys would know, if you watch television or whatever, or they should even put commercials on YouTube. I don't think I've seen any commercials on YouTube for anything to do with the skilled trades. So maybe start doing that first. Make a TikTok one or something. Get eyes on it. Get the idea in their head. While technology continues to evolve, it cannot replace plumbers, electricians, construction workers, maintenance and repair pros, or other tradesmen. Investing in skilled trades is vital to address America's workforce shortage. Business Roundtable's CEOs do not just want to compete for the same limited talent pool. We want to work together across industries to make real progress in closing talent gaps and expanding opportunity for more workers, whether they are service technicians, welders, electricians, or line workers, across these in-demand fields, said David Gitlin, chairman and COO of Carrier Global Corporation. I want to reiterate the importance of this initiative for business in every sector and of all sizes that will benefit from a strong pipeline of skilled trades professionals. The new initiative will focus on trades most closely associated with the growth of America's production economy that emphasize the use of tools and materials to build, move, or repair products and structures. This includes, but is not limited to, the following roles: industrial and manufacturing trades, so welder, machinist, millwright, metal fabricator, tool and die maker, mechatronics technician. I have never heard of mechatronics technician. What is this? What is this? Mechatronics technician. Don't make up words. I've never heard that before. And they want Boilermakers. I've heard Boilermaker, of course, and you have to have good eyes to be a tool and die maker. Like, you really got to get in there and do a lot of precision work. Construction and building trades: carpenter, electrician, plumber, steam fitter, pipe fitter, mason, painter, residential construction laborer / remodeler. Maintenance and repair trades: heavy equipment technician, HVAC technician, engine repair, and facilities maintenance. You've got a book called Hard Drives and Advanced Mechatronics. Okay. Isn't Mechatronics the leader of the Decepticons? Nice one. A Gundam technician. There you go. It's an $800 book, but you got a PDF. I mean, yeah. Textbooks, very expensive. And they don't need to be. Came to mind when you got that book. Yeah. The energy trades: line worker, solar voltaic installer. So, solar panels. Solar photovoltaic, that's right. Transmission and distribution technician, power plant technician. Through the initiative, Business Roundtable members companies will have access to forums to highlight innovative best practices and other shared learning opportunities, including peers and external partners such as community colleges. Tools to support specific company needs, including outlining ways to engage effectively with K-12 schools on skilled trades. Do that. Do that right now. Don't wait for it. Start introducing the skilled trades in K-12. Do that. Work groups to develop a shared skills taxonomy that will outline career pathways across skilled trade roles, supporting company talent, pipeline development, and worker mobility. Not every worker wants to move to where the job is, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Very rarely do you get people that want to move far away to get a job. They will. Some will, but others won't. Connections with professional associations for skilled trade workers with strong training programs and a track record of partnership with companies. The Skilled Trades Initiative is the latest of Business Roundtable's corporate initiatives work that involves over 150 companies representing millions of employees nationwide. These companies are working together at scale to ensure that employees have the skills they need to succeed in a rapidly changing economy, expand economic opportunity to more Americans, and maintain America's competitive edge. Trade we hear about down here is licensed land surveyor. According to the licensing board, they were losing more to attrition than they were gaining. Really? 6-figure potential with a 2-year cert. Wow! Only 2-year certification and you're earning 6 figures, and you're a licensed land surveyor. Wow. That's good stuff, Godzilla. That's a job you're going to travel around a lot. But hopefully you're home at the end of the day. Well, who knows? Maybe you're going to travel around the state. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's like statewide or what it is. Does it go by county? Here's a wild idea. Shop class. Kids will learn to make and repair things. Yes. Excellent idea. Yes, David. That is perfect. Shop class. There's nothing wrong with shop class. I would definitely say that that's one of the better things to do. Yeah. This one says that an aerospace worker shortage. You travel around locally, lots of car time, but you should be home every night. Hey, that's good. Good, Godzilla. Yeah. That's what a lot of guys look for. As long as they're home every night, that's an important thing for a lot of people. When they go out looking for a job, flying around and crossing states and going to different countries, it loses its luster. And I did a bit of that, traveling around. I did some time where I had to travel around to different wastewater treatment plants. They were not close by. I had to always book a hotel, and for some places I could drive to, that they were about, where were they? They're about 350 kilometers away, and what was the other one? Yeah, about 400 kilometers away. So 200 miles. So we're talking like driving 200 miles, sometimes closer to 300 miles, and it wasn't good. Living out of a suitcase, it lost its luster after the first 2 weeks or so. And then I had to fly to one, which was out in Kelowna, which is in it's in British Columbia. It's in the Okanagan. And I would fly there to go to their wastewater treatment plant. And yeah, I'll tell you, coming back home was the best part. The best part was leaving and driving and flying back home, because there is no place like home, as the old saying goes. But why don't we get around to, we'll just skip this one for now. It's just about aerospace worker shortage, but let's just skip that one for now and get to picture time. It's picture time. It's picture time. Everybody likes picture time. There's the background of my computer for now. It's Rebisa from 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Aerospace looking at a shortage of workers due to lack of recent forever wars. Most guys that get out of military with aero training end up in this industry. Ah, yes. But isn't that coming up, though? You felt the same way about the Eternals. The best part of that movie was the ride home. You're like, oh man, I can't wait to get home. Yeah, this is great. All right, so you saw the subtitle of my stream today was Work Safe, Home Safe. You want to go home the same way you came to work. You want to have all fingers, toes, everything like that. You don't want to be injured in any way. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want to have to be in the hospital. And this is a safety concern right here. This is a giant mound of wood chips. And it's blocking an emergency exit door. So this is where you tell the guys, hey, you better go get the skid steer and clean this up. Because the overhead door is right there. They could open it up, come in, scoop it away from the door, and then you'd be okay again. But yeah, this was at the composting facility. So up here is where all these chips came from. The seal here at the drum digester was worn away, and when they put chips in at the top, a little bit would come out at a time. So a little bit, little bit, little bit. And then when you leave it for, I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe 3, you get a big pile like this. You're hoping that's a giant pile of PDF. Yeah, we can only hope so. Yeah, that's crazy. But they left it there, and that's what happens. They make a big pile, and it blocks the emergency exit, and then the safety guy comes around and goes, whoa, what's this? Why are the safety exit blocked? That's like, hey man, the operators need to clean this up. This isn't a maintenance thing. This is operations. You got to tell those guys, stop being so lazy. The place runs 24/7. So the guys on night shift could even come in here with a skid steer and clean it up. But they didn't. So operator laziness. Composting facility, that's why it reminds you of a giant dung heap. Reminds you of Jurassic Park. Yeah, there you go. Where's Jeff Goldblum when you need? Yeah, he's probably in here, actually. I think I see he's swimming around in here. All right, next one, safety. I know you guys might have seen this one before, but I always get a kick out of this one because I saw this in person, and I'm the one that took the picture. So somebody went to dump a bale. This was at the recycling facility, and it's a bale of looks like paper, and they wanted to dump it off the forklift. And yeah, that's what happened. He was too high up. He got past the center of gravity, and it's even has oil leaking out of it now. So they called me over. Hey, Pop, can you go grab the crane and set this thing down? And I said, well, once you guys bring out the excavator and pick that bale off there. They're outside having a safety meeting. Yeah, there you go. It's Forklift Follies Volume 44. Yeah, I'm forklift certified. There's another shot of it there. That's quite the steep angle. There it is there. I climbed up on the bin and got a shot of it. So this is bales of paper, and he's got 2 of them. One there and one there. And when he tried to slide them off the forks, it just went thump and rested there. There's another shot there. Shot from a different side. So I had the crane. I latched onto the back of this thing here, and they came out with the excavator with the claw on it, and they took those bales off, and then I slowly let this thing back down. And then it has to get checked over by an HD mechanic just to make sure everything's okay. And then just put it back to work and, give the operator a rap on the knuckles for doing that. I think next time he should just take 1 bale, or maybe just try to slide them off the forks rather than try to dump them in. Anything so it doesn't end up like this. He's just lucky they didn't slide off the forks and then he went smashing back down again. That's hard on the back. So it just stayed there. He's lucky. No, David, the hydraulic hoses were not broken. Nope. I think that oil under there is engine oil. Next up, this one gets me every time, and I just... Some genius thought they could use a tie strap. Moment arm is a hell of a drug. Yeah. This one, a tie strap to hold the end of an airline on. There's 100 pounds of pressure in here. And some genius is like, hey, I'm going to use a tie strap to hold this on. And it's like, man, you're playing with fire here. Because that end comes off and, you know, the hose is coming at you or you're getting blasted in the face. It's only it's good for like 100 PSI Godzilla. It's not hydraulic, but still get the proper clamp to secure this thing. It's just on a hose barb. You need that gripping force of a clamp on there to hold it. When he saw it on Twitter, yeah, but it's one of the hacks I saw. And please, guys, don't ever follow the hacks you see on video. A good guy to watch is that Funk FPV. Have you ever seen that guy? You know, he's like rate your hack and all that. And those hacks are garbage. They're the most absolute dangerous thing you can ever do. So I like the way he calls them out. I would too, but he's doing it already. Here's another one. I don't know how this happened, but this outlet is exposed and nobody, like, how did this happen? Like, who hit this thing? You know, you got electricity there, you got 120 volts, and everybody thinks it's just okay. Nobody comes to tell the maintenance people about it at all. So there it is. Wide open. I just don't get it. Remember being a noob, having a seasoned mechanic ask me if it was okay to use an open torch on an oil-soaked housing to get a stripped stud out. No. Yeah, it's not okay to use a torch on an oil-soaked housing, you fool. All right, that's what you should have told her. Yeah, no. Flame and oil. You want a fire? Like, that's the worst. Here's another one. Okay, so this falls under safety, but it also falls under having people lie about their credentials. You see all these things here say re-weld, and they're pointing to the welds. Because we had somebody lie about their credentials about being a welder. And every joint he tried to put together, I had my welder go over it. And he's like, he marked all the places that needed to be re-welded. And it's almost every one of them. That is not a proper weld. Yeah, H1B. Yeah, exactly. Like, look at this. That is not staying anywhere. And so we told management, like, hey, this guy lied about his credentials. He is not a welder. Like, look at these. You remember some guy trying to spray deep woods off on some huge bug and it flew over a campfire and, well, you... Yeah, whoosh. Yeah, JB Weld. Yeah, exactly. I think that might have held even better than these ones. I mean, look at this. That is, ugh. I would not be proud of those. I would grind those out myself and do it again. Or get somebody that's a welder to do it. Because lying about your credentials is about the worst thing you can do as a tradesman. People are expecting you to know, like, look at this. Porosity. Not enough penetration. It's just terrible. So don't lie about your credentials. If you're a welder and you're going to do structural work and it fails, you're killing people. Like, you're taking people's lives in your hand by not being qualified. Even if you think you are, you're lying about it just to get the money. And yeah, this thing was pretty much scrapped. We were like, nope, we're not using it. This is not going to hold up anything. And he wasted all that time, but he got paid for it. So he wasted all that time and effort for garbage welding. So here's another one here. This was at the recycling facility. It's a cracked guardrail. And somebody figured, we'll just hold it together with some tie straps. That'll be good, right? Just hold it together like that. And it's like, no, it's not good. Get my welder in here, and he can take care of this. I know he can, because he's a skilled welder. He didn't lie about his credentials. Same down here. Another part. Cracked guardrail. Guy was also wearing a wool toboggan. I think it was wool. Scary watching him throw it off when it caught fire. Yeah. Here's a set of forks that go on a skid steer. Look at this. Just reckless. Somebody attached a chain to that thing and just hauled off and pulled. Never pull with the backrest. It's just for the load to rest against. You're not supposed to use it for towing things. And I believe you, Godzillionaire. You weld better than that? Yes. I haven't even seen your welds, and I know you can do better than that. But yeah, this just mangled. Just because people are just taking shortcuts, they're not doing things safely, they decided, yeah, we're going to do that. And then this happens. And what about the other end? What about the chain that comes ripping out of there? Where's that going? People are going to get hurt. Just a big mistake. There's another shot of it. It just busted right out of there. I'm wondering, it looks like it might have broken at the weld. I don't think this looks like a weld. So maybe that's where it broke at the weld, but still, there's no reason for that. Yo, what's up, Serranos? How you doing, man? What's stronger, 0.2 kilograms of plastic or 50 kilograms of steel? Exactly. Good to see you, Serranos. It's been a while. Just taking pictures of stuff you see. Syringes. There's no needle in the end. But, the stuff that people throw out in the garbage. There's a bit of a close-up. Yeah, there's no needle in the end there. Another broken set of forks. This time it's the bottom part that hooks onto the skid steer. Look at this. Like, I don't know, what are you doing to have that rip out of there like that? It's just supposed to it helps keep the attachment, against your the plates there. You must just be hauling on something like crazy. Did I get another shot? Yeah, there's a picture, a different angle for it. The other one's intact here on this side, but this side, they just ripped it right out of there. There's another shot of it there. So this side, that's what it's supposed to look like. There's a little pin that goes through here and holds the attachment so it doesn't go away. And then over here, just ripped right out. Sometimes wonder these bad welders if they would treat their steaks the same way. Oh, I don't know, Veritax. You would hope they'd have some sort of humanity where they treat their steaks better. Just right shear out. Yep, exactly, Serrano. Just right sheared off. Like, unreal. There shouldn't be that kind of torque and tension on that in order to rip that out of there. But sure enough, I mean, there's guys out there who can wreck anvils, so I mean, anything is possible, but you just have to take a picture when you stumble upon it, because it's like, wow, I can't believe this happened. These people are certified. Oh, they're certifiable, all right, David. I mean, they may have taken a course, but I don't know if they've ever been truly deemed competent, because that's the big thing now. When you go for training, the trainers will tell you, I'm not deeming you competent, I'm just giving you the training. Your employer has to deem that you're competent to do the job. So that's their thing now. That's right, Veritax. Also, come-alongs, the most abused tool out there. Look at that. That's supposed to have that keeper there held against the hook like this one. But that's long gone, and it looks like the hook is stretched. You're only allowed a certain percentage of stretch in the hook, and this looks like it made it way past what it's supposed to be. Once again, a different set of come-along. The keeper is been pulled out, and you never want to use that because that will not survive any kind of pull. You want to use the throat here on the hook as your major pulling point. And same thing here, that's completely gone. It looks like it's got ripped right off. So as long as the hook isn't stretched open, you can get a new keeper, a new latch, and put that on. Same with this one. We'd measure across here the throat diameter, or the width across the throat, and see whether it's been stretched or not. And if it hasn't, then we can just buy a new latch and put it on. And you're good to go. But as it is right now, this is not allowed to be used. And a different one. 3/4 ton. The top one looks okay. It might be okay. It still looks a little sketchy. Bottom one, no good. In the words of Anne Robinson, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Yes. Also, the hooks can be replaced. All you have to do is open up this part right here. There's just two or three bolts holding it together. Take that off, throw the hook out, put in a new one, put it back together, and you're good to go. Hole in a chute. So instead of replacing it with steel like it is here, somebody put up wood. Wasn't me. But the hole there got worn. All the stuff falling wore away that hole in the wood. So I come along, I'm told to repair it. So I just grabbed a piece of wood, screwed it on there. Good to go. Good to go for the next time. Until they decide to properly repair it with some steel sheeting. That's what you got to do. This is one of the shorts I have actually out there on YouTube. This is so this is a settling pond for biosolids, pretty much a poop pond. This is all human waste in here. And we were testing out whether a dummy, if the life jacket could float. Because we're like, well, if we have to go out here on a boat, we want to know if we fall in, if we will float. So, naturally, we have to try it. And There it goes. And we tied a rope on it to him just in case. And no. Spoiler, it cannot. If you fall in that little shit, you're dead. Or you'll want to feel like you should be dead, Serranos. Because if I'm getting pulled up out of that, I'm going to be like, just leave me. Just kill me. I'm not happy about this. So yeah, the dummy did not float. What else here? Got one more, or a few more things here. New meaning the turd floater. Yeah. So you're told to go up to the roof and clean out a gutter. And I don't think this gutter's been cleaned out for, I don't know, 15 years. And I'm up here, I'm holding the camera. The other fellow there, he's trying to disconnect that. You can see we're kind of up close to the roof here. We got the downspout. Just a matter of prying it all. Okay. I think we got to go to the next one. That's what happens when you get it off. That's a lot of dusty compost and just parts of birds and it's all clogged up. Can't even see in there.
Yeah, but it's not easy to get at.
And there's this one. Okay, got that piece off there. Look at that. That's just clogged. I had to take a picture. I just want to take this picture of this fan growing. You can see the pull. The one side of the belt is taut, the other side is loose. All right. Got a few other safety things here. I think this is... I just gotta pull this in a bit. Once again, this is the settling pond. This is in the wintertime. Ice gets built up on these aerators. The aerators are supposed to keep it so that it doesn't freeze over. As you can see, someone's sitting here on the dock and are filming. And that's all ice because it's the wintertime. And then the aerators make it so that the ice does not freeze over, or the water, quote unquote water. It's you know, it's the poo pond. And I believe that's me out there on that aerator. There's the dredge. So that thing That thing scoops up and pumps the solids back to the plant for dewatering. They get sent to a centrifuge. And this is where it all comes from. So this is all treated human waste. And that's what an aerator looks like when it's running. It's keeps stirring up the water. But as I said at the beginning, the ice builds up on the lines. So that thing right there, that big part right there, that's a big chunk of ice that I have to hit off with a hammer. So I got to grab a hammer, and I would hit it off to get it to get off there, because ice buildup would flip these things over and make them useless then. So if you have the ice buildup, flips the aerators over, and it's ruined, and you can't use it, and everything freezes over and then it doesn't thaw until the spring. So yeah, that's how that goes. And yeah, just getting out there was just a chore. And there's their boat. So the boats were on the dock, and that's where we would store them. Where are we going here? So we got different challenges. That was at the composting facility. At the new place, the chemical plant, a little different. Different things that happen. Like in the wintertime, because we're the low point, water comes in and it freezes. And that's what you end up with. You have a warehouse that's got water on the floor, turned to ice, and you got to wait until springtime before it'll go away. You like Ririsa? There, DJ? Yeah, she's alright. Keeping a lookout for things like this. You have any hydraulics, you always should check the hoses, because you'll get this abrasion, and the hose the hose can burst. So you try to get it repaired, get new hoses before it gets this far even, because you can start seeing the metal strands in there. So always check your hydraulic hoses. And they're rusted, so it's been like that for a while. And you can always protect them with some hose wrap. You can use plastic hose wrap that goes around the hoses for protection. Protect you from the abrasion. That's not a good picture. It didn't focus on the hose good enough. But yeah, always have a look at your hydraulic hoses. Keep them safe, because high pressure hydraulic oil is also dangerous, and it's hot. So it'll scald you and it'll cut you, because that's how high a pressure it is. So always be aware. And always work safe out there, you guys. You always want to go home safe. You don't want to be going to the hospital or anything like that. All right, David, thanks for coming out, man. I'm gonna end it here too anyway. I'm going to call our stream. I just want to thank everybody that came out today. Appreciate you guys. People like David and Fabric Folds, Godzillionaire, DJ Runny G, Veritax, Tanker, Aris. Who else was here? Is that just about everybody? And Serranos. It was nice to see you coming by, buddy. Yeah, good to see you. I didn't say Aris already. Aris came by. WorkSafe BC, you got her, DJ. But yeah, guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Let them know old Pop's here. And there's other good channels to go and visit. You know, when I'm not on, you gotta try to visit like Pacific 4 and 4. Check out Mike. He has a good channel. And DJ Ronnie G. He'll have his Monday show on Thursday. There's Brandon the Anime Guy. There's Carl at the RNG Podcast. There's Tomby, Angry Canadian, Nerdporo Lifeform. There's everyone's favorite Penguin Punkwaddle. He just dropped a video today. Him and his penguin positivity. That's good stuff. I really enjoy that. And then don't forget Infinite Metal. You can find him on Kick and Twitch, and he streams a lot of retro games. And it's just a fun time because the ridicule and mockery is cranked up to 11. Watching him play the games. It's fun stuff. As for me, coming up on Saturday, I have to start a new retro game. New one. Because I've finished Penguins of Madagascar. And that was a fun game for the DS. I really enjoyed it. Had like full voice acting and cutscenes. It was great. And that's good for a DS game. I'm really impressed. So I got to pick a new one. I don't know what to do yet. But it'll be in the back of my mind thinking of something to play. And then on Sunday Anime Chat, we are done with remakes for June. We got 5 Sundays in June, and this last Sunday is going to be the review of the previous season, but then the upcoming summer season of new shows. We're going to go through and pick them and see which ones I'm going to watch for summer. I mostly stuck with the ones I picked for spring. I think I got it to down around 17 shows. But yeah, we'll see how many I pick on Sunday. Hopefully not a lot. And then after that, it's Tuesday again. More Trades Talk Tuesdays, more skilled trades, more pictures, more videos, more of the stuff you like for your industrial stream on a Tuesday. Many new shows for summer. Pretty excited yourself. All right, Serranos. Yeah, man. There's a lot of season 2s I want to pick up with in summertime, so I can't wait for that. I know we'll probably be watching some of the same ones, and we can chat about, see what we like about them, what we don't. There's a couple actually this season, but you'll have to come in by on Saturday or on Sunday to find out which ones I was disappointed with for spring. There's a couple I was disappointed with. And some that really caught me off guard, and I was like, wow, these are really, really good. So don't forget, guys, stop on by on Sunday. We'll do some Sunday anime chat. But for now, I had a fun time, and I hope you guys did as well. Until I see you on stream again, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.